Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at Boink Studios, and check us out on boinkstudios.com, where you can see all of our projects, past, present, and future. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this is Tom Clark's Main Event. We're back once again here on Facebook Live. Glad you are with us. We're also recording today. The show will post on YouTube, as well as Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Subscribe and download today, and please follow the Tom Clark's Main Event Facebook page for more content. Plus, check out our Patreon page for even more cool stuff. This is episode number 177. And yes, we're moving right along here on Facebook Live. We want to thank everyone for joining us here, of course, and for coming back each and every week. Much thanks to Heidi Ryan and the whole crew at Wrestling Rumors for giving us this platform. We do greatly appreciate it. So episode number 176 was the Superstar Dream Match. We talked about your picks for the top pro wrestling dream matches of all time, including ones that did and did not happen. It was a blast, and this week promises to be fun as well. Why? Because this time the main event, read it, folks, is the Tag Team Hall of Fame. Man, did I stumble and bumble my way through that intro. My apologies. Every time you think the old man's on his game, he surprises you. Hopefully I'm not blowing your eardrums out today. I've been told that the feed can be quite loud, so if I am, my apologies. Scooch the volume down just a couple of notches. If you've never joined us on Facebook Live, brother, you're missing out, because you get to see Tom wear some cool t-shirts and to see him rant and rave and opine on all things professional wrestling. That's what we're doing here on the show. Tom hasn't had a haircut in well over 2 months, going on 3 months, whatever it's been now. No beard trim, no haircuts for me and for any of you out there, but such is life. What's going on, folks? Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, as always. We thank you very much for hanging out. Good day, Josh in Australia. Brother, thank you for watching, man. Welcome back. Robbie, Rebecca, Elvis, what's up, brother? Jeff, what's going on? Sandy, Carlos, Chris, Shannon, Linda, Chris again, Eric. Eric, what's up, bro? Thanks for hanging out, man. Free t-shirt time, yes, sir. Christopher, Shane, what's up, my man? Hope everybody is going and doing well. So, hopefully everyone has read the topic of today's show. As you guys know, yes, there's still live pro wrestling happening out there right now. WWE, AEW, and Impact are all three doing their thing, and I get that, and I respect it, and hope everyone is staying safe and healthy and happy in those companies. However, sometimes it's not very exciting to talk about what's currently going on, and as you guys have been told before, Tom Clark's Main Event for 7 years strong, 99% of the time, I focused each episode on a particular topic of my choosing, not necessarily current events. It just morphed into that over the past few years. So we're getting back to our roots. We're picking a topic. This is the third week in a row. God, I can't get my words out today, man. It's terrible. Third week in a row for the format. Hope you guys are enjoying it. And yes, folks, today we're talking about the greatest tag teams of all time, the Tag Team Hall of Fame. Gary in England, what's up? Hello, my friend across the pond. Folks, if any of you out there are listening today, live or listening after the fact, if we're not friends on the Facebook, please send me a friend request, man. And if you can't find me, just say hello to me in the Wrestling Rumors Instant Messenger, and I will click on your name and send you a friend request. I'm in the business of collecting friends, just as Vince McMahon is in the business of collecting talent. So there you go. To everybody who has sent me messages over the past week, my apologies for not answering you. I've been kind of laying low on social media. I've been busy with a lot of things lately in the personal life and family life and so on and so forth. However, I just want all you guys to know that I'm still here. Yes, I appreciate all your positivity, man. It means worlds to me. So thank you very much for hanging out. Thank you, as always, for giving me your time, and it's greatly appreciated. Hello, Christopher in Kansas. We got a lot of Chris's. Hello, Belinda. Hello, Alex. We're staying safe here, my friend. Hope you guys are as well. So let's go ahead and get to the show, man. I'm excited for this topic. Tag team wrestling is one of the most exciting aspects of the professional wrestling business. I've been a fan of tag team wrestling since I was a kid. I grew up with the Rock and Roll Express, the Midnight Express, the Fantastics, the Sheep Herders, Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard, Ole and Arn and Gene even. Some of the greatest tag teams in the history of professional wrestling that I grew up watching. Someone's already mentioned the British Bulldogs, the Harlem Heat, absolutely. The Steiner Brothers, absolutely. What's up, folks? Los Guerreros, Elvis says. So, Christopher says, Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov. Great choice. Eric, top fan, Mr. Bradbury. How are you, good sir? LOD all the way. So, if you've not seen Dark Side of the Ring, The Road Warriors, check it out. I don't really endorse that show all the time because, honestly, I like to watch inspirational stuff and stuff to be motivated by and happy things. I like to fill my head with happy things, folks. That's why I don't watch slasher films. I'm just being honest with you. So, Dark Side of the Ring, I can't tell you that Tom Clark's Main Event fully endorses the show. However, I will tell you this. They seem to know what they're doing. They seem to do their homework pretty well. So, if you want something to watch, I would recommend the LOD story. There was nothing on that show that I didn't already know. And it's very sad what happened with Hawk. I'll tell you this before we go much further in today's show. In my opinion, hands down, the greatest tag team of all time are Amon Hawk, the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom. And the reason I say that is because they made the most money. Now, I know what you're thinking out there listening live, watching live, and listening after the fact. Tom, it's not always about the money. It is a business, my good friends. Pro wrestling is a business. The men and women of this business have to make money, okay? The Road Warrior Pop, as they call it, the greatest reaction of all time of any tag team, of any wrestler on any card, any specific day, any specific night that they were on the card, they typically got the pop of the night. And yes, money is absolutely a necessity. Money is absolutely important. They were the best of all time because, number one, they were influential. A lot of carbon copy tag teams came after them. They were the greatest of all time because they made the most money, and that's a big deal. They got booked everywhere they went, the main event spots. They won the titles everywhere they went. If they were still going strong today, still in phenomenal shape and still working, they would be AW World Tag Team Champions, I have no doubt in my mind. Because the LOD is the LOD. They had that spark, that charisma. In my opinion, WWE took a lot of the shine off them with the whole Road Warrior Hawk drunk storyline thing, personal problems. I was not a fan of that, to be honest with you. So, yeah, that's my take, fans. In my opinion, Hamlin Hawk, the best of all time. So let me back up the feed here. Gary says Legion of Doom, New Age Outlaws for me. I can appreciate that. Elvis says Lay Sex Gods. Joshua was saying the Bushwhackers. Well, of course, we all know that's Luke and Butch, previously known as the Sheep Herders. Douglas says Harlem Heat, top 5 best of all time. I would probably agree with that sentiment. They were fantastic. Chris Lynn says the Hart Foundation, absolutely. Elvis with the Dudley Boys. Aaron with Minnesota Wrecking Crew. God, I love shows like this. This is just the most fun ever. Nathan, brother, I don't want to mispronounce your name, so I'm not going to attempt it. Nathan, welcome to the show. Says the Heavenly Bodies. Excellent choice, my friend. Chris says the Nasty Boys. I was never a huge Nasty Boys fan, if I'm being honest with you. They were territory guys, and I respect them. I respect, what they did for the business. I was never a fan, if I'm being straight up with you. They just never did it for me. I'm just being honest. I don't know how else to say it to you. Best friends, Elvis says. Modern day tag team, great. Yeah, okay. Rock and Roll Express, I've got a bunch of stories about the Rock and Roll Express because I spent time in a company that featured Ricky and Robert on more than one occasion. Had a blast working with those guys behind the scenes. Great dudes. They're still going today. God bless them. I got caught up on NWA Power. Actually, it was NWA Superpower this past Tuesday night. And the Rock and Rolls were on that program. I just love Ricky and Robert. I would mark out, as the kids, the term that the kids use out there, I would mark out all the time for those two guys. I'm a fan. I always have and always will be. They're just fantastic. You know what I mean? Speaking of fantastics, Bobby Rogers and Tommy Fulton. Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton. Boy, there's a faux pas, isn't there? Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton. There it is. Fantastics. Great tag team. Very underrated. If you don't know anything about the Fantastics, my man, you need to go back and look it up. For God's sake, if you don't know the Rock and Roll Express, don't just judge the past 5 years. Please don't do that. Go back and watch them in their heyday and tell me if the pop that you hear when the Rock and Rolls came through the curtain didn't just blow you out of your chair, because it did me every time. Absolutely. David hits me with Edge and Christian. Well done, my friend. Midnight Express, Keith says Bobby Eaton and Robert. So Midnight Express. So Midnight Express, there's 2 different versions. Actually, there's 3 different versions. The original version was Dennis Condrey and... No, it wasn't Dennis Condrey. It was Paul... I forget his last name. They became the original Midnight Express. It was somebody in the... Oh, I can't remember. It's blowing my mind now. But Dennis Condrey and Bobby Eaton was the version that we got to know the NWA, and later became Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane. Just great. Stan Lane, such a compliment to that team. Stan Lane, of course, also of another great tag team, the Fabulous Ones with Steve Keirn. There you go. A little bit of knowledge for you. Midnight Express, and listen, don't discount anything Jim Cornette did, man. When you have a couple of guys, or one guy, or whatever, a faction, whatever you want to call it, if you don't have a strong mouthpiece, if you don't have someone that can really cut great promos, you find somebody that can. That's where the manager comes in. That's how the manager's role plays out. Jim Cornette was fantastic. Midnight Express were a triple threat. They were a complete package, obviously. Shane absolutely points out the Fabulous Ones. Brother, I cannot talk today. Chris Lentz points out Money Incorporated. That was Ted DiBiase and Mike Rotunda. Yes, I refuse to call him IRS. I'm sorry. Brothers of Destruction. My God, I'm tongue-tied, man. Don't worry, we'll edit all that out. I'm not really going to edit all that out. So, yes, Taker and Kane. I've seen Taker and Kane work live. Man, it's... Yeah, the smoke and the fire and the pyro together, the combination, wow. What a classic match that is. Classic duo, obviously. Another lifetime, and another company, another way, Taker and Kane would have been the biggest stars in Japan since Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody. Absolutely. What about Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody? How about that for a duo, my man? How about duos that are going strong today? How about the Guerrillas of Destiny? How about that? In New Japan Pro Wrestling. And I'm trying to remember the names. It's been a while since I've watched. Can you tell? Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. There it is. Bullet Club. Any combination of tag team. How about, has anyone mentioned the Young Bucks yet? 3-minute warning. Interesting. APA. Thank you, David Cassidy, for the APA. That is, of course, Farouk. Ron Simmons, also known as Farouk. And, of course, JBL. John Bradshaw Layfield. As the APA. Some of the most fun segments I've ever seen in the history of pro wrestling were the segments with them backstage with the big stand-up door, when they would have people knock on the door and stuff like that, instead of, someone was like, hey, go through the door. There's a door right there. They try to go around. Some of the greatest spots of all time. Such a great team. Smash Mouth Pro Wrestling, my friends. I can't swear that Jim Ross was the first person to introduce that term into pro wrestling, the pro wrestling vernacular. But if he wasn't, I'm shocked that he wasn't, because I just think it fits. He was one of the first guys I heard him use those terms, and it's perfect because that's what they were. Speaking of fantastics, I got Rogers and Fulton on my TV right now. I'm watching old school World Championship Wrestling, not WCW, but NWA World Championship Wrestling. There you go. Gary says, didn't agree with the animal personal issue angle cross line in my book. Gary, I agree with you, but I'll put it to you this way, bro. He agreed to it. He did it. Did he do it under duress? Did he do it under threat of not being pushed? Who knows how that works in that company. You hear all kinds of stories about Vince and his crew and whatnot, but I don't know what's true and what's not. We can only go based off of what we hear and what we hear coming out of that company. If you really want a true indication of what's really going on behind the scenes in WWE, all you have to do is listen to a guy's podcast when he gets his release from that company, and you'll learn a lot of what you need to know or want to know. Because from CM Punk to John Moxley to Chris Jericho, the order's wrong, to Brody Lee, to a lot of other guys, one by one, the stories are pretty much identical. Creative sucks. They don't know what they're doing. They're hard to get along with. Communication is awful. They pitch terrible ideas. Revival, same deal. These guys want to be on board. They want to do their job. They want to entertain. They want to work hard. They get crap to do. That's basically what we're talking about. What kills me is all the people that are there to handle talent in WWE, and there's still that issue. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Tim hits me with the brood. Well done, my friend. I'm digging that all day long. Yes, sir. Gangrel, Edge, and Christian. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Someone said the Von Erichs. Can't argue with the Von Erichs at all. Any combination of the Von Erichs, minus maybe Chris, perhaps. God rest his soul. God rest all their souls, let's be honest. But yeah, it's hard to argue that for sure. Hardy Boys, thank you, Douglas. And maybe someone else has mentioned that. Shield and Legacy, says Jeff. Well done. The Funks, Chris says. Absolutely. Dory and Terry. So, let's talk about the Hardy Boys for a second if we can. Man, we're going to blow everything we got in like the first 5 minutes of the show. Isn't that crazy? Jeff and Matt Hardy were influential and trend-setting and two of the best of all time. And I would have to rank them up there with the LOD in terms of of how they inspired teams that followed. Yes, they were trendsetters. They did things in the ring that tag teams were not really doing at the time. They would take any risk. They would do anything it took. They knew each other like a book because they were brothers. Obviously, they're blood, right? But Matt and Jeff, I got news for you, folks. They're still trying to do Matt and Jeff Hardy right now. A lot of tag teams are. You know how many tag teams started? To me, Jeff and Matt Hardy like the Beatles of pro wrestling, because no one really looked or sounded like them or did what they did until they came along, and then after they came along, everyone looked and sounded and did what they did after that fact, or attempted to. You know what I'm saying? To me, they were the trendsetters. It's the best word I got for you, man. Fantastic. Randy Rose, thank you, Alma. Very well done. Ravishing Randy Rose, wasn't it? Brandon, yes, many of the early Attitude Era teams were great, but was not acknowledged like teams like before. Godwin's, Headbangers, New Age Outlaws. I do think the Outlaws get all the credit in the world. I see where you're coming from on that, but I do think that they get all the credit in the world, in my opinion. But I see your point there. Someone said the Iconics. Boy, if Nathan Workman was on here, he'd be agreeing with you all day long just to get at me. Cookabee wearing Owen Hart. Interesting. Killer Bees. Absolutely. Thank you, Dave. Listen, if I've not gotten to your comments, please be patient. I'm trying to get through the scroll right here. Absolutely. Killer Bees. B. Brian Blair and Jumpin' Jim Brunzell. Sure. Shane. Shane's always my old school hookup, man. That's why I like you so much, bro. Gentleman Chris Adams and Gino. Was it Playboy Gino Hernandez? What was his nickname, Shane? Remind me. I can't remember. Fantastic. Absolutely. Jamel says, I love tag team wrestling. Yes, absolutely. Same here. Let's see. Oh, Mom. James, you talking about Men on a Mission? Yeah, I know who you're talking about. That was a unique tag team, man. Hard hitting, super heavyweight to be sure. Mabel and Mo, that's it. Yep, for sure. Ooh, So's. Absolutely. New Day. Man, you can't give the New Day enough credit. I don't know that the New Day aren't trendsetters like Jeff and Matt were. They weren't, punishing bruisers like Hawk and Animal. But here's the thing about the New Day, and I'm going to use the Fabulous Freebirds. I'm going to use the comparison, and I know it sounds like I'm using the comparison because it's a 6-man tag, but I don't know if that's why I'm doing it or if it's just to get to this point. The Fabulous Ones, I'm getting my teams mixed up. So the Fabulous Freebirds, they were trendsetters, but they were very unique. You could only really do that one time. They tried it later with Gorgeous Jimmy and Michael P.S. Hayes. It just wasn't the same. No Buddy Jack Roberts, no Terry Bam Bam Gordy. It's not the same, right? So they tried it later. It was just right? But you only had one set, really, in my opinion, of Fabulous Freebirds. And then you had the New Day. Can you imagine anyone else being the New Day? Can you even imagine a scenario where the New Day becomes someone else? Or someone tries to follow them and do the same shtick? I don't know how you do that, man. It works because it's unique to them. It works because their characters meld and join together in such a way that everybody watching knows that this is for real, that they're not play acting. They thoroughly enjoy each other's company. They really enjoy what they do for a living. And they're riffing the whole time, and they're having a blast with it. And that's why the Freebirds worked so well, because you knew it was a brotherhood. You could feel that in your bones. I just don't know how you emulate either team at that point after the fact. They're just true originals, man. That's how I feel. That's just what I'm thinking about it. Smoking Guns, Chris says, absolutely. I cannot. Folks, I'm sorry I'm not getting to your comments. For some reason, I cannot see the entire feed. It keeps blanking out on me. My apologies. Please keep them coming, man. Dusty Rhodes and Dick Murdoch. Yes, the West Texas Rednecks, right? Is that what they called them? Right? Hardys and Dudleys, absolutely. Katie, thank you for chiming in. Yes, sir. Road Warriors, Road to Russia. Wild Samoans, Alpha and Sika, well done. World's Greatest Tag Team, Charlie Benjamin and Shelton Haas. Shelton Benjamin, Charlie Haas. Man, I'm so backwards today. It's backwards day. Welcome to Tom Clark's Main Event Backwards Day. I am truly tongue-tied. I didn't have a stroke or anything. Do I look like I had a stroke? I'm looking good, right? Okay. Yikes. Phil Hickerson and the Spoiler. Shane, always with the old school, bro. You're nailing it, man. Andre the Giant Haku. Interesting choice, but yeah, you can't deny the toughness of that duo. My God. Try matching up with them and see what happens. Speaking of tag teams, right now I'm seeing the Fantastics go at it with the Sheep Herders in the middle of the NWA ring. For sure. Small SWAT team with Buddy Jack Roberts. There's a deep dive right there. Joshua says Young Bucks, beer money, Motor City Machine Guns. Yes, MMG. Yeah. So Motor City Machine Guns. Alex Shelley and Chris, help me out here. Motor City Machine Guns. Alex Shelley and he was in Ring of Honor recently, wasn't he? I can't remember his name. Don't anyone kill me. Yeah, great tag team. Really, really great tag team. Jamel says forever the Revival. Now known as the Revolt. Cash Wheeler and Dax Hardwood, I think is what their names are. The Islanders, the B Team. 3-man band. Shane, the Varsity Club. This is the Varsity Club. Kevin Sullivan, Mike Rotunda, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, Rick Steiner. Dude, fantastic. Just a top-notch team. A top-notch faction. I love, and so underrated, man. They don't get near enough credit for what they accomplished in the NWA. Good draw. Great heels. Love the Varsity Club, for sure. Beautiful people. Oh, going with the female tag team. All right. What do I Sheree says, what do I think about Bliss and Cross? I have never been high on Alexa Bliss. I know the company is. I love Nikki Cross. I'm a huge Nikki Cross fan. Alexa Bliss, at one point, I didn't think that she had done enough to deserve the spotlight that she had. Part of me is still not sold on her. I think she's still come a long way, but, that's sort of my take on that. Pat with the Briscoes. Well done, my friend. Mark and Jay. If you don't like the Briscoes, there's something wrong with you. You better check your pulse. You may no longer be with us, man. Rob says, I recently on another podcast. Big Fairly Wrestling was co-worker. And some were saying Iconics are great, which I have 2 words for you. Hot garbage. Rock and roll spread. Dude, I'm sorry I'm missing your comment. What is going on with the comments today? This is insane. Playboy Buddy Rose and Pretty Boy Doug Summers, Chris. Yep, for sure. Yep. How come I can't see the whole feed? Man, my apologies. Handsome Gino Hernandez. Was that what it was? Gorgeous Gino. Yeah? Gorgeous Gino Hernandez. Yep. Stone Cold Triple H. Yeah, the Power Trip. That was interesting. Jamil says, love the New Day. They were giving us suck gimmick and they ran with it. Oh, my God. Talk about taking, what's the old phrase? Chicken crap and turning it into chicken salad. That's what they did, for sure. Yeah, no doubt about it. You have to respect the effort. And you have to respect the love and the pride and everything they've put into making that team work. The Flock Ravens flock. Good pull. Alma says Eddie and Doug Gilbert, father-son tag team right there. Cena and Ryback, interesting. Rock and Sock Connection. I don't know if they'll go down in history as a great tag team, but talk about highly entertaining. You better believe it. All right, I've seen Midnight Express. I've seen the Rock and Rolls. I've not seen the Midnight Rockers, who later became the Rockers. Anybody hit me with that yet? Sean and Marty. Yeah, dude. Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels. I remember seeing the Midnight Rockers as a kid and thinking, well, this is an absolute rip-off of Midnight Express and the Rock and Roll Express. Absolutely. But you know what? It worked. They got over. They became the Rockers, got over even more. And I don't know if you know this, but Shawn Michaels is a Hall of Famer. So, there you go. Let's see. 4 Horsemen. Yes, absolutely. Arn and Tully, Barry and Arn. Yeah, there's been a couple of different tag teams out of that group for sure. Yes, sir, Shane. I hit on the Fantastics and everything. Got their names screwed up and all that. That was me. John says Road Warriors, and I don't think it's close. Well, I'll go with that. The Quebecers, Chris says. Excellent pull. Forgotten Sons are a good up-and-coming team, John says. I just think they're having an identity crisis. They're not. The company is. Because the company doesn't know half the time what they're even doing with these guys. If I'm being honest with you. They really don't know. 1 minute we're not supposed to care, then we're supposed to care, then I don't care. I don't know. Nothing that they're doing wrong. It's just the direction of that company is just so... God, it's so tough sometimes, man. Can-Am Connection. Tom Zink and Rick Martel. Dave, my man. Excellent. Fantastic. I love that. Carlos says DX. Well done. The Jumping Bomb Angels. Still, in my opinion, one of the greatest tag team names of all time. I love the JBA. The Jumping Bomb Angels. You kidding me? Absolutely, Wayburn, Minnesota Wrecking Crew. JD, what's up, my friend? John says the Steiner Brothers. Absolutely. Folks, if you're just joining us here today, we are talking about the Tag Team Hall of Fame. No, it may not be a real thing, but it is here today. I want to know your picks for the greatest tag teams ever. Give me a team. Let's talk about it, what they did, what they could have done, what they may have done had they stayed together. Let me just tell you this. Tag teams in WWE typically don't last too awful long. The shelf life's not great. Want to know why? Vince can't wait to split them up. We've been hearing for years about how Vince McMahon doesn't care about tag team wrestling. But guess what? We're going to be hearing about it for the rest of our days, folks. You want to know why? Because Vince McMahon doesn't care about tag team wrestling. I don't know why. AEW cares about it. New Japan definitely cares about it. TNA or Impact, for that matter, does care about it. But Ring of Honor cares about it. But WWE doesn't give two craps about it. Let's just be honest. Some of the biggest tag teams that ever came out of that company were never tag teams. They were just two guys that just threw together. I'm just calling it like I see it, because they don't care about it. I'm at a loss. Why? I know why. Vince McMahon doesn't care, so he doesn't want anybody. If Vince doesn't care, no one in that company is going to care. You want to know why? Because no one wants to rock the boat. Basically, they're going to say, yes, boss, whatever you say, boss. That's the truth. John hits me with Steamboat and Jay Youngblood. Fantastic. Shane, Powers of Pain. I did get to work with Barbarian. By the way, great guy. Freaking great guy, dude. Love being around Barb. He was awesome. Absolutely. Ricky and Jay, absolutely. I'm friends with Jay's daughter on Facebook. You guys should go give her a follow. Rika Jonas is her name. Fantastic. Great, great girl. Great stories, too. She was very young when her dad passed away. The Body Donis, well done. Well done. Chris Sabian, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for Chris Sabian. Chris Sabian and Alex Shelley. Well done. Thank you, folks. I did blank on that. Yes, thank you, everybody. Killer Bees, yeah. Man, NWO, there you go. Fortune and TNA, yeah, that was... Okay, so that was Flair, AJ, Bobby Roode. Was James Storm in it? And Frankie Kazarian, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Something like that. Ole and Gene Anderson, Road Warriors, are the Freebirds. Impact Players and the Blackjacks. Ooh. Craig, well done, my friend. Love that. Impact Players for the TNA tag team, right? Wasn't that... that was... am I wrong? That was Lance Storm and Just Incredible? Was that the Impact Players? Help me out with that. GOD, Toby, absolutely. Moondogs, Bullet Club, yep, we hit those guys already for sure. Ming and Scott Norton. Okay, so here's the scenario. You ready? You're in a bar. You're minding your own business. Suddenly, the toughest guys in the room come up and pick a fight with you. Who do you want on your side? I got two choices: Ming and Scott Norton. Either or, hopefully both. Because you know what's going to happen if they're on my side? I don't get touched that night, bro. First of all, I wouldn't be in a bar. It's not my style. But I'm saying if it was, you hang out with Ming and Scott Norton. They got you back all day. Kerry Von Erich and Iceman King Parsons. Interesting choice. I love King Parsons, man. I was always a fan. The Brood, yes, sir. Wild Samoans. We got some repetition now. John with the Outsiders. Holland Nash. How do you folks feel about Holland Nash being a big time tag team? They were certainly impactful. You know, if you try to type impactful in like Word, it tries to autocorrect it because it doesn't like that word for some reason. I don't know why. Trust me, I've tried it a bunch. Yeah, yeah. No one can deny their impact in WCW and on the business as a whole. Would I call them a great tag team? I don't know. I think they're in the conversation. They'd be in the top. I don't know what I'd say. Top 30, top 40 maybe. That's just my take. I mean, it was done by necessity more than anything else, but I totally get your point. Cactus Jack and Terry Funk, great pull. Love that all day. Love it. Yep. Of course, Blade Runners, obviously Sting and Ultimate Warrior. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Lucha Bros. Shannon hitting us with some new school. Yeah, Lucha Bros. Pentagon and Ray Phoenix. Yeah, they are the epitome of a car wreck. They are the epitome of a slow motion car wreck. Gosh, this is a terrible analogy. You can't take your eyes off of it. No matter what you do, you can't stop watching. Because just when you think it's over, all right, they're the epitome of a 24-car pileup on the freeway. Just when you think that it's over, it's not over. Those guys bring something else. Is that better? It'll work for now, right? But yeah, I agree with that. The Nightmares, Ken Wayne and Danny Davis. Shane, excellent. Armstrong Brothers, Douglas, great, man. Great, absolutely. Think Undertaker and Big Sid and WCW. Yeah, the Skyscrapers. Well done, Nate. And it was also Sid and Danny Spivey. Or was Sid Danny Spivey's replacement, either or? I think it was Sid and Danny Spivey. Because I think it started out as Taker and Danny Spivey, then became Danny Spivey and Sid Vicious. I believe. Skyscrapers, yeah. Well done. The Radicals. There you go. Yeah. Demolition. That's the first Demolition mention of the show, unless I've missed it already at some point. Demolition, Road Warrior ripoffs. No disrespect. That's what they were. They knew what they were. They claimed they didn't know. They totally knew. Vince couldn't get them. Then when he got them, what happened to Demolition? That's what happened. Robbie, sorry. Yeah, thank you, my friend. Was that I think the grace is Rock and Roll Express? Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Rock and Roll Express, very good. Rebecca, thank you for watching. Come back next time. Gordy and Williams, absolutely. Great pull. British Bulldogs. We've had the Bulldogs mentioned a few times, but yes, absolutely. They deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. Don't know why they're not. Absolute travesty. But here's the thing, and I've mentioned this to you guys before. The WWE Hall of Fame is the WWE Hall of Fame. It's decided by one guy. Not you, not me, not the writers, not the fans, not the wrestlers, not the personnel, not anyone else. One guy, one guy, one guy. That's it. So, don't get bent out of shape. Don't get any heartburn when your favorites don't get in, because it's one guy. What are you going to do, right? Please don't sweat it. There's a bunch of Hall of Fames out there, and trust me, I've been thinking about doing a Tom Clark's Main Event Hall of Fame. I know, what's it matter to anybody, but I just thought it might be a cool touch. I don't know. We'll see. Something fun to talk about. Bill says, going back a long way, the Graham brothers, Fabulous Kangaroos, Jay Strongbow and Don Eagle. Bill, you are going back a long way, but I'm loving it. I'm loving every bit of it. Well done, man. Absolutely. Old school. David says, Ernie Ladd and bad Leroy Brown. The Bill Watts Mid-South Territory, they were hurting everybody. Oh, my God. Big Cat Ernie Ladd. The Big Cat brother. Yeah, oh, my God. Ernie was one of a kind. Born and bred and just custom made for this business, wasn't he? Like, he's a great football player. Even better wrestler, I believe. Just had the personality, the toughness. My God, crazy good. Cesaro and Sheamus. What'd they call them? The Bar? Yeah. There you go. Tony Atlas and Rocky Johnson. Terry Atlas, all right. Military Muscle. Local tag team is CSW, the team of Big Guns, Justin Andrews. Well, Elvis, I'll take your word for it, my friend. I'm not familiar with any of those cats. David, The Nation. Well done. NOD. Yep, Hakeem and Big Boss Man, good pull. I personally preferred him as a one-man gang, if I'm being honest with you. Only Vince McMahon would take one-man gang and turn him into a dancing and singing moron. Well done, yeah. Dude, I remember that team. Yeah. Four Horsemen, yeah, absolutely. Natalia and Beth Phoenix. Shannon going with the ladies. Yeah, okay, yeah. For sure. Owen and Yokozuna, and a very, different kind of tag team for sure. Douglas hits me with the Wolfpack. Yeah. So you had Sting. There was Sting, Conan, Kevin Nash, Lex Luger, Randy Savage, NWO. God, man, they were red hot. You know what? Looking back in hindsight, how do you turn even part of the NWA babyface? It was terrible, but man, were they over? Holy God, but they were over because of Sting. They were over before. But when Sting joined them, look out, shut up. Let's see. Blue Bloods, Triple H and Stephen Ray. Wayburn, well, excellent pull, man. TNA with Trish Stratus, Cherie says. That was Albert and Test, right? Yep. Good pull. Dusty Rhodes and Dick Martin, Texas Outlaws. Yep. And I called them the West Texas Rednecks earlier, didn't I? Yeah. As you guys know, Dusty's my favorite of all time. I just think he's in the top 5 best wrestlers of all time. The best complete package in the history of professional wrestling. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Rocky Johnson, Tony Gurria. I love you guys hitting me with the old school stuff. I love all the stuff. Shane. Shane got the no prize again this week. Everyone's stepping up. You guys are impressing me, but Shane is killing it, man. The superpowers. The superpowers. Nikita Koloff in the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Freaking fantastic. Freaking fantastic. Awesome. You want to hear a pop? Go look up the superpowers forum on YouTube. Go look it up. Go look up Nikita Koloff turns babyface. Put it in your ears like headphones or earbuds. Turn the volume way up and press them in as hard as you can so you can get the full effect. Holy God, okay? That's all I can say to you is holy God. Insane. Still gives me cold chills. Mankind Chase All Charlie. Yep. Cactus Jack and Terry Funk for sure. Deuce and Domino. There you go. We got some different hits here, man. Belinda says Lita and Trish. Shane, yes sir. Hollywood Blondes. We got a few hits from them so far. Absolutely. Cactus Jack and Gorgeous Gary Young. Wow, that's a different one. Yeah, Barry Windham and Dustin Rose, Twin Towers. Yeah, I'll go with that too. How about the Mega Powers, brother? Right? Savage and Hogan. We haven't talked about the Mega Powers, have we? So, yeah. Great tag team. What's up, Jason? Folks, if you're just now joining us, folks, here we are. We're talking about tag teams. This is episode number 177, the Tag Team Hall of Fame. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're all happy, healthy, and safe out there in Tomland, Tomville, Tom World, whatever you want to call it. That's what I call it. I don't care, whatever. COVID land should call it. Isn't that terrible? But yeah, man, we're just hanging out. So, talking about tag teams. So yes, absolutely. Everybody you want to talk about, man, who's your favorite tag team of all time? Who do you think belongs on the tag team Mount Rushmore? Who do you got? I got the Road Warriors. I got the Rock and Roll Express. I got the Hardy Boys. I know that's right. I think I got Arn and Tully. I think that's my Mount Rushmore tag teams. Shane says Memphis Vice, Big Lou Winston, and Jerry Bryant. Wow, crazy. Robbie brings a little something else here, man. Who is a tag team that you would say these two should never have been put together? God, what a great topic. You guys got any ideas on that? Who do you think's a tag team that never should have been put together? Now, when we say put together, I assume we're talking about WWE because they're the ones that were putting people together. I mean, other companies did it. But in terms of two guys that maybe didn't have anything to do with each other, they weren't a great fit. I don't know, man. That's a good one. It's a great question, Robbie. Freaking awesome. Who do you think maybe had no business working together? Maybe they just didn't gel. It wasn't working for whatever reason. It wasn't tickling your fancy, as the kids say. Who is it? Who's your choice for someone that you're like, I just don't know if this is working for me or not? You know what I mean? Who do you got? That's a great freaking question, man. I'm sitting here trying to think of how many teams just wasn't working. Okay. Remember the gimmick that Luke Gallows had when he was he Festus and the other guy? Who was the other guy with him? I didn't get that. I didn't go for. I just didn't care about that at all. I have an issue with making fun of like mentally challenged people, which is I felt like what they were doing, and that wasn't my only gripe with it. I just didn't feel the tag team at all. The concept I understood, but it did not mean, however, that I approved of the tag team or that I was entertained by them, because I really was not. I just didn't get it at all. It just wasn't doing anything for me, if I'm being straight with you. Let's see. Smoking Guns, well done, Keith. Rougeau Brothers, good. First mention of them. Natural Disasters, we got a few hits on those, for sure. Yeah, and folks, if I'm not reading your comments, chances are the teams have already been mentioned. Yeah, we were talking about that, Jason, for sure. Shawn Michaels and Diesel, there's a different one. Mr. Fuji, Mr. Saito. Ooh, Strike Force. That was Tito Santana and Rick Martel, right? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Jeff Jarrett and Owen Hart. Imagine this. Hardys versus Dudleys versus Lucha Bros versus Edge and Christian. Fatal 4-way ladder tag team match. Well, first of all, they'd all be dead at the end of it. Second, we would all be dead by the end of it because we'd all be having heart attacks by the end of that match. Because, my God, talk about, that's a 48 car pileup on the freeway in rush hour traffic at 110 miles an hour. That's what that is. Yep, Jumping Bomb Angels. We've had a mention of that earlier, for sure. Shane says Stud Stable, Robert Fulton and Jimmy Golden. Great, man. Good pull. Stone Cold and Vince, not a team, but magic together. Well, they were a team in some respect. I'll give you that. What would be your dream tag team match, Joshua says. Ooh, it's a good one. Okay, the Rock and Roll Express in their prime. And you know, we talked about the dream match topic last week, and I said I didn't like to put teams that were very similar together. I like to put, two different teams together because I feel like that made for better chemistry. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. That's a great question. The number one of all time? It would have to involve either the Rock and Rolls in their prime or LOD in their prime, for sure. And then versus whoever you got today. That'd be my easy, not so easy answer. Team Hell No, James says. Yeah, Kane, Daniel Bryan. The Beverly Brothers. All right. The Steiners. Yes, we've had a few mentions of the Steiners. Spirit Squad. Oy, God in heaven. Still one of the worst gimmicks of all time. I'm sorry. It's how I feel. And I know we've got... Listen, I'm going to say this, and I'm not trying to step on anybody's toes. I want to know we got a lot of WWE fans watching and listening to this show today and later who are avid WWE fans, who love WWE, who love most everything about WWE, who constantly, I don't want to say constantly, they challenge me on things I say about the company and about Vince and whatnot because they defend the company, because they love the company. And you know what? Go with God. It's good to have something to believe in and love and support and be a fan about, and that's fine. That's awesome. But I don't, however, think that they always get everything right. It's just my opinion. And I didn't care for the Spirit Squad. I don't like the fact they were shoved down my throat because Vince likes to get a stupid chuckle over adolescent humor. I just didn't care about it at all. I'm just being straight with you, man. So, see what else we got for you. B Team and Fashion Police were both duds. Well, Joshua, the B Team was the B Team. They are what they are. But I got to be honest with you. I liked the Fashion Police. I'm sorry. I liked it. I thought it was a joke at first as well. But it actually grew on me. I actually loved it. I love when they were backstage and they were like taking off their guns and stuff and their badges like, that's right, we're going to give it up. And they're giving their stuff to Shane. And he's like, here's my gun. And Shane's like, why do you have a gun? It was great. It was so funny. It was a very, very small moment, but I laughed. I howled over that. They're turning in their stuff because they feel like they couldn't be the Fashion Police anymore. I'm sorry. I thought that was funny. Animal and Draws, Toby says. There's a good choice. Thank you for that. Yeah, I wasn't caring for that at all. Draws was put in a tough situation, man, for him to have to get over inside of a tag team that was two walking, living, breathing legends, man. Good luck with that, dude. Yeah, he was put in kind of a no-win situation. Thank you, Chris. It was Jesse and Festus. Yeah, I didn't care for that. Aces and eights, biscuits and gravy. God in heaven. That's what it was, wasn't it? Yikes. Iron Sheik and Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah, honestly, I wasn't... Slaughter could be a great heel. People forget, when he was in Mid-Atlantic, Championship Wrestling, Jim Crockett Promotions, he was a great heel. Maggots. He called them maggots and stuff. It was a good gimmick. He gets to WWE. What does Vince do? Cartoons them up. You hear me? Cartoons them up. Because that's what he does. He takes your gimmick and he cartoons the crap out of it. It's what they do. And if they don't have a gimmick, they'll give you one. They'll cartoon the crap out of that too. You're just lucky Stone Cold Steve Austin didn't end up wearing a funny hat and funny pants too. Don't think it couldn't have happened. It dang sure could have happened. Did I just say dang? I think I did. I don't curse on the show, man. Come on, I keep it clean. How many times Luke Gallows has been fired from WWE? This is the third time, isn't it, Jason? Third time? Maybe I'm wrong. Yep, Demolition, Best Friends. Yep, we even got the TNA mentioned earlier. Yep, Lucha Bros for sure. Keith says Rene Dupree and Kenzie Suzuki could have worked, but really did not if I had to pick one. Excellent choice. Yeah, I agree with that totally. Shane says Lawler and Dundee. Can't argue that one at all. We have heard about Can-Am Connection. We didn't hear about Gallows and Anderson. Great pull though, for sure. I love that. Cool. What about Evil and Sonata from Los Ingobernables in JPW? What about them? You can't argue their ability. What about Finn Juice Robinson, David Finlay in New Japan? What about them? Hard to argue that. What about the North in Impact Wrestling? Pretty good team, I think. I'm not a fan of Impact Wrestling, being honest with you, but they're a pretty good team. Telling you, man. Wild Stallions. Who were the Wild Stallions? The Wild Stallions was Bill and Ted, wasn't it? Listen, if that was a pro wrestling tag team, my apologies for falling asleep on you, but I'm sure it probably was. Steve Blackman and Al Snow did not work at all. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I know what the intention was. Opposites attract, put two entirely different personas together. And I'm a fan of that to some degree, but yeah, it didn't work for me too much either. The Bruiser and the Crusher. Robert, thank you, my friend. Bruiser and the Crusher. Holy cow. Ray Stevens and Nick Bockwinkel. How about that? Old school, Jack. Old school. Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin and Steve Regal back in the AWA. Pretty good tag team, right? Let's see, who else am I thinking of? I just had a tag team on the tip of my tongue and I lost it. The Long Riders, right? Bill Irwin and oh God, I can't remember the other guy's name. Terrible, no disrespect, can't remember his name. Someone look that up for me. Long Riders. Yeah, because one of them died of cancer, I believe. I think Bill Irwin died of cancer. He became the Goon in WWE. God help us all. Terrible, for sure. Robbie says, we'll stay there. Doom! I just forgot everything. Doom. All right. Woohoo! Ron Simmons and Butch Reed. Freaking awesome. Okay. If you had two other guys that could have your back in a fight, Doom. Ron Simmons, Butch Reed. Fantastic. Well done, Leyburn. We'll say that Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho were not great together. Chris carried that tag team. Yeah, and honestly, that was the chemistry of the team. That's just how it went. Chris, much more accomplished in terms of what he could do on the worldwide stage. Much better at what he did. Did I think it was not a success? I don't know if I'd go that far, but that's just my opinion. But no, I see where you're coming from. It just didn't have the feel of a main event. Holy cow, tag team did it. Natural disasters, earthquake and typhoon for sure. London and Kendrick. Well done, Robert. Dustin and Cody Rhodes. Yeah. They call them the Brotherhood, right? Yeah. So, someone just used hot garbage. Eric said. Eric, what are you talking about, bro? I'm sorry about the news feed, folks, or about the comments. I'm trying to stay caught up. Jackie and Roughhouse Fargo. Wow. Awesome. The Youngbloods. Chris and Mark Youngblood. Great choice. Yep. And James, well, I think we had Chris Adams and someone else. Chris Adams, Gina Hernandez was mentioned, but not Iceman King Parsons. Well done. The Gangsters. Yep, for sure. Dusty Rhodes and Magnum TA. How did I not even mention these two guys? America's team. Well done. Love America's team. Magnum TA with all the potential in the world could have been something huge. He was something big. He just could have been so much bigger had the unfortunate accident not happened. I love Magnum TA. I still do, man. Great stuff. Crime Time. Remember how Lillian Garcia would say, crime time. Terrible. Yikes. I like the guys. They made the best of a bad situation, in my opinion. Maybe not bad, a tough situation. You just get the feeling that WWE, Vince McMahon in particular, specifically, I should say, thumbing his nose at the races. Am I wrong? Is that wrong of me to say? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Private Party in AEW? Maybe. Still developing, still coming along, right? So, yeah. What about Public Enemy? No one's mentioned Public Enemy, have they? James Storm and Chris Harris. Yeah, were they America's Most Wanted? Wasn't that a tag team name? Chris Harris and James Storm? Pretty sure. We have actually had a Moondogs reference for sure. Ryder and Hawkins. Interesting. Yeah. D'Lo Brown and Mark Henry. Yep. Doom, absolutely. We have had a Sheamus and Cesaro sighting here on the show today. Jim Powers and Paul Roma. Yeah, they were the Power and Glory. That's it. Paul Roma. A name that time forgot. If not for his spot in the Four Horsemen, time would have forgotten all about Paul Roma. No disrespect to Paul Roma. Wasn't his fault. He was a terrible fit. How about that for your terrible fits? Paul Roma is a horseman. Yikes. Jamil says, honestly, I don't like Omega and Paige as a team. Yeah, I'm not feeling it either, if I'm being honest with you. Barry Windham and Lex Luger. Yep, for sure. Yep, can't argue that one. Yes, sir. Superpowers. Love the superpowers. Scott Irwin. Is that it? Long Riders, yeah. Johnny Ace and Shane Douglas. Wasn't that the Dynamic Dudes? Ugh, terrible. Tyson Kidd and Cesaro, very, very good tag team. Yep, yeah, we've had the Midnight Express mentioned quite a few times here. Killer Bees as well. Team Canada, well done, David. Let's see. Steve and Sean Simpson, well done, Jason. Kamala and Kabuki. Oh my! Did they ever tag together? Did Paul Jones manage? But Gary Hart managed Kabuki, right? Did he manage Kamala? I think so. Did they ever tag together? God, I gotta look that up now. Yes, America's Most Wanted. Thank you, Danny. Wyndham and Rotunda, absolutely. Oh man, that's right. America's team, or America. What were they called? They were called something, and they used Hogan's music. Michael Tenn and Barry Windham used Hogan's music in WWE before Hogan used it. So, Raven and Dreamer, great match there, man. Great tag team for sure. David, first mention of Enzo and Cass. Wow. Smoking Guns, we've had to mention a couple of times. Dudley's absolutely. Oh, that's right. Power and Glory was Paul Roma and Hercules. Yep, there you go. Well done. Jim Powers and Paul Roma were. Who were Jim Powers and Paul Roma? Somebody look that up for me. They were something. Jim Powers and Paul Roma were. I can't remember. They had a tag team name. Look it up for me, somebody, please. Jason, I didn't put the Dudley Boys in my Mount Rushmore because it's my Mount Rushmore. My choice. I love the Dudleys. Should they be up there? Probably. But, I mean, do I put them ahead of one of the other 4 teams I have up there? I don't know how I feel about that, man. Fire and Ice. Well, it's a team, right? The Machines. It's a good one. Big John Studd, Andre. And wasn't it Bill Eadie? Wasn't he the third one? The Head Shrinkers. There you go. Samoan SWAT team. I think someone mentioned the SST earlier. Gary, what's up, bro? Spanish Announce team. Very good. Very good. The Ding Dongs. God help us all. No. How about no? Hakeem and Big Boss Man. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep, Briscoe. U.S. Express. Thank you, Jason. That was Wyndham and Rotunda. For sure. Ivan and Nikita, the Russians. What about Crusher and Nikita? Or Crusher and Ivan? Crusher Khrushchev. Yep. American Males. Suddenly I have that terrible American Males. That's a terrible song. Buff Bagwell and yikes, it's escaping me at the moment. I can't remember his name. It'll come to me. Backlund and Inoki. Wow. The Young Stallions. Okay. Paul Roma, Jim Powers. Thank you. Is that what you were trying to say, Victor? Yep. Italian Stallion was actually a wrestler in Mid-Atlantic, Jim Crockett Promotions. Sting and Lex Luger. Yep. Shawn and Diesel. We've actually had that one. Headbangers were mentioned for sure. Yep. Yep. Sting and the Bulldog? Huh. Greatest tag team, the Conquistadors. Ole. That was good. That's funny. Scotty Riggs, thank you guys. Thank you guys. Real American was originally supposed to be U.S. Express themes. It was, wasn't it? It was on the album as that, as U.S. Express. Yeah, I knew that for sure. Jason Jordan, and I refuse to call that guy Shorty G. I will not slap him in the face like that. Austin and Triple H, we actually got that mentioned for sure. Yep, Scotty Riggs and Buff Bagwell, American Males. Thanks for putting the song in my head. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Killer Bee's been mentioned here a lot. I love that we have so many old school fans paying attention and watching. I love it. Paul Roma and Paul Orndorff. Interesting. I'm caught up with the comments. Yay. Great. Took long enough, didn't it? Yep. LOD, thank God, has been mentioned a whole bunch here. As I said before, in my opinion, best tag team of all time. And that's tough. That's tough when you're talking in the same breath as the Rock and Roll Express and the Midnight Express. That's tough, man. But, yeah, I got to be honest with you. I firmly believe Legion of Doom, the Road Warriors, greatest tag team of all time. How about the teams that emulated them? There was Demolition, there was the Ascension, Blade Runners, obviously. A lot of ripoffs over the years, man. Powers of Pain was a ripoff. And I like Bar and Warlord, I do. But that's how I feel. Yeah, Rock and Rolls for sure. Valentine and Brutus Beefcake. Well done, Victor. Rat Pack, Ted DiBiase, Haxel, Jim Duggan, and Maniac. Where was it? Maniac Mark. Yeah. Matt Bourne, right? Yeah, okay, cool. Steiner and Petey Williams. Petey dressed up and looking just like Scott. It's crazy. Rated RKO. There you go. Haas and Benjamin, we have had that mention already. You know what's going to kill you guys is when we sign off here today, you're probably going to think of like 10 more tag teams that we haven't even talked about yet. It's possible. Nathan, I knew you were going to show up. I knew you were going to say the Iconics. Someone mentioned the Iconics earlier, and I said if Nathan were here, he'd be agreeing with you. There you go. I knew you'd be here. You never disappoint, my friend. Master Blasters. There you go. Yeah, well done. Saturn and Dean Malenko. Piper and Mr. T. What about the Eliminators in ECW? There it is. Who else we got? Give me another tag team that we've not mentioned here today. What they are, how important they are to you, what they mean to you, what they meant to the business, how good they were. That kind of thing. Rhythm and Blues. That was Greg Valentine and Honky Tonk Man, right? Yikes. Greg Valentine dyeing his hair black. I don't know, man. Kabuki Warriors, Danny says. Well, they're entertaining. I'll give them that. Nathan is finally getting back. Nathan has to do real life way too much, guys, and we all feel bad for him. Nathan doesn't get to enjoy life enough, which means life means silly little dumb stuff like what we're doing here today. But this stuff is important. This means something. It's going to change the world. It's not really. But it sounds good, and it's much more fun than a conference call, yes? Unless the conference call is about pro wrestling. There you go. We've had those. We'll probably have them again, hopefully soon. Vissy. There it is. Try it again, Tom. Vince and Jesse Ventura. Interesting. Bob Caudle and Tony Schiavone. We're going to go tag team announcing tag teams. Ross and Lawler, of course. Yeah, I'm down. So, yeah. Yep, we've actually had a mention of Youngblood and Steamboat. Absolutely. Grizzled Young Veterans, yeah. Okay, tag team that split and had single success. Who do you think? Edge and Christian, obviously, each. I don't know if you call it equal successful runs separately, but pretty freaking close, maybe. Rockers aren't even close. Obviously, Marty was left behind in that deal. Sandy says, Tommy, all right, Sandy, what's up? Stardust and Goldust, yep, the Brotherhood for sure. Sanity, Fantastics in '84. I love the Fantastics. We've been talking a lot about the Fantastics today. Bobby and Gorilla, I'll give you that for sure. Yep. DX, we've had some DX mentions today. Professor Tanaka, Mr. Fuji, absolutely. As far as who had the best success, maybe outside of the tag team, you could argue James Storm and Bobby Roode. You could argue that. I don't know if you'd want to, but you could. You could argue Triple H and Shawn, I guess, right? So, yeah. Yeah. That's like, the lead singer and the lead guitarist each going off and having their own solo acts, and they're both successful. That's something to think about, man. Yep, Shane, we did have a mention of Buddy Rose and Doug Summers were managed by Sherry Martel for sure. Guys, have we reached the end? Because we're getting a lot of duplicate mentions here. Someone just mentioned Miz and Morrison. I don't think it was the first one. Frank says, Joshua says, why Family Shield, Punk's multiple teams, Nexus 2.0. New Jack and Mustafa after the Gangsters Legendary. Yep. I don't know about legendary. Controversial, perhaps. But I agree with you there. Sandy called them the Brothers of Distraction. I don't know if that was intentional, but I like that. Brothers of Distraction. It's good stuff. Yep. Taz and Spike. Huh. Taz and Spike Dudley, right? Yeah. Who else are we not talking about? I feel like there's tag teams we're not mentioning. Maybe there's somebody we're forgetting. And I feel like if there is somebody we're forgetting, we're woefully ignorant in our forgetfulness. The APA has been mentioned for sure. Chronic, there you go, Frank. Well done. Chronic was Brian Adams and Brian Clark. Yep. Sabu and RVD. Yeah. I got you, Sandy. We've had the Bros of Destruction mentioned already. Yeah, I mean, honest to God, real living, breathing tag teams. I mean, if you want to say the best of all time as a complete package, I'll say the Road Warriors. If you want to say the best of all times in terms of longevity, that's obviously Ricky and Robert. if you want to say the most innovative and the most like setting the bar and trend setting, I'd say the Hardy Boys and the LOD, maybe a tie, maybe. Yeah. Guess most success would be the tag trio, Charlotte, Becky, and Paige. Yeah, I agree with that, Nate. I agree with that totally. And just, yeah, okay, I agree with that. Main Event Mafia. Oh, David, well done, man. Yeah, well done. Faction and TNA, right? Yep, we've had Strike Force mentioned. Kane and X-Pac, there's a good one. About RVD and Kane. See the common element here? Kane, right? Kane, very good. The Brain Busters, well done, of course, Arn and Tully. So, yeah. This has been a fun show, man. For sure. Yeah, Miz and Morrison, I'll agree with that. Primetime players, yep, Chuck and Sean O'Hare. Yep, Chuck Palumbo, Sean O'Hare. Okay. Worst tag team? Worst tag team. The Hunchbacks. Remember that WCW story? Oh, terrible. Awful. Terrible. I'll say the Spirit Squad is one of my vote for one of the worst of all time, for sure. For sure. Just horrible. I just never got it. Just never did anything for me, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, I feel like there's somebody we've forgotten. But, buddy, if we have, it's not for lack of trying, folks, because I think we've hit some of the great ones of all time here today, for sure. How about Kurt Hennig and Scott Hall? Forgot about those two guys, didn't you? Uh-oh. Yeah, I think you'd have to mention Hennig and Hall together. Great tag team in AWA, for sure. Tag team champions of the world. LAX, well done, Shane. And that goes to Proud and Powerful in AEW. How about that? Well done, man. Worst tag team is Shane and Miz. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Strowman and Nick. Yeah, Joshua, I think you just won the second no prize of the day, my friend. Excellent. Dick the Bruiser. Yeah, we've had Bruiser and Crusher mentioned, Joseph, believe it or not. Yeah. Adrian Adonis and Dick Murdoch. Ooh, interesting. Adrian Adonis, man, before he ever got to WWE, they cartooned him up. Wore black leather, had a biker gimmick, was tough as nails, dude. Was somebody you wanted to mess with. He gets to WWE and suddenly he's a circus clown. He's a big, dyed hair, gay gimmick, or the big bizarre and outlandish and flamboyant gimmick. Whatever, man. Yeah. Keith, no worries, man. Come back next week for sure. So, dude, I think we might be coming to the end, man. My God, hasn't this been fun? You know how quick the hour goes by when we start doing the topics like this, man? This is so much fun. Listen, folks, we're going to take this home. I want to thank everybody for hanging out today. Thank you so much for being there for us. Thank you so much for giving me time of day. Thank you very much for watching here today. I do very much appreciate it. It means loads to me. I want to let you guys know that I am still attempting to sort of get my feet back under me in terms of being the pro wrestling writer that you all have been supporting over the past few years. I've written 4 columns this week. That's actually a lot more than I've done in a long time. So I just wanted to tell everybody here, thank you for following, thank you for reading, thank you for always supporting. And dude, I think I'm going to get out of here, man. Thanks everybody for watching today. Please check out Tom Clark's Main Event on Facebook as well as our Patreon page. Go follow High Velocity Wrestling, folks. You'll be glad you did. HVW, based out of Hendersonville, North Carolina. I am the social media director for HVW. It's a fantastic pro wrestling company. We can't wait to get started back again. Hopefully it'll be sometime this year. We'll see what happens, man. All right, bro, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks again, everybody, for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. My tongue-tied session for the day is over, and I'm out. I'll see you next time. We'll see you next time, right here. See you then on Tom Clark's Main Event.